Hey everybody, McConnell here. I just wanted to talk with you a little bit about small group leadership for purpose-driven life. Wanted to take just a couple of minutes to talk about some general sort of principles for these groups as they begin in October, and then some specific things relative to the material itself. All right, I'll start with the general things first. So these are just some general principles that you want to keep in mind as you facilitate these groups, all right? And they're in no particular order, but they're all good. First thing I would say, and just want to just seed with you, is that engagement is discussion. So, hey, what we want to do in these groups is facilitate a conversation with people. Just get people talking about, what's going on. So ask questions. Let that be the thing that happens more often than not. Ask people questions and let conversation arise. The material itself is so very interactive that way. It's asking people to process what God's doing in their life and their struggles, their fears, etc., etc. So ask questions, create a conversation. All right. So see this as a conversation thing and not like a teaching thing, really. All right. It's more about a good discussion. All right. That's the first thing. Second thing, kind of piggybacking on that, is I would say just model the way. So, there are things in here that are challenging, if you might. There are things that are asking, God's asking us to move in a particular direction, and we have, struggles or fears, or we have a testimony about kind of how God has met with us or is meeting with us, right? And so feel free to share that. So model the way of, kind of processing and working through these things, so that, we're just saying, hey, as group leaders, we're all in the same boat. We're all in this human condition with God, trying to move forward and press through into the things God has for us. And, we deal with all the same obstacles and struggles, and we see the same breakthroughs, and what God does for me, He does for you. All right, so I'd say, model the way, encourage, discussion. Third thing I'd say, it just as we think about these groups, is prepare but be flexible. So I'm going to talk a little bit more about this when we talk about the actual material. But you want to prepare some questions and think about what you want the group to talk about. But once you start the conversation, stay with the fruitful conversations. Don't feel like you need to cover, oh my gosh, I got to cover this XYZ. If it's fruitful, then it's good. All right, I'll just say that would be the bottom line. All right, let me see if there's anything else. I think that's those three things will cover the way. So specific to the material, so basically this book is laid out in 40 chapters. It's meant to be like a daily reading. So what we're going to be encouraging people to do is to start reading. Their day one will be Monday, October 5th. Okay, so by the time they get to group on Wednesday, they'll be at day 3. So we are preparing right now. I just actually placed the order for books. They should be in by this coming Monday for you guys. So if you want to stop by the church and pick up a copy, I would encourage you to get a copy and begin to read, so that you're like a few days ahead of the group. So coming into that first Wednesday, you want to be looking through your reading, let's say the first 7 to 10 days, and just making some notes about, okay, these are some questions I'd love to do. So there's some questions at the end of each chapter. There are also some questions in the appendix at the back of the book, so you can use that. There is a QBR code on each one of in each one of the chapters, and if you scan it with your smartphone, if that's something that you do, you can get even more sort of material that way. But even if you didn't do any of that, the questions in the book are sufficient for a great conversation. Great. So think about what you want to do in that regard, and this will be a very organic thing. It should come out of your, reading through and your processing the material. All right. So those are a few things for you to just to consider. Any questions at all, please don't hesitate to get back to me. Again, this launches in October 7th. The first thing that's going to happen is that on Sunday, On Sundays in October, we're going to be teaching through the 5 purposes as laid out in the book, and actually it's going to go, that will go October into November, as well as the small groups themselves will go October to November. So they will go October 7, 14, 21, 28, and then November 4, 11, and 18. All right. Okay. Thanks so much. And we will talk again soon. Thanks. Bye now.